Using the L15022 kit, I'm going to show you some of the lighting that you can do with it. Shortly we'll bring in a model, but right now I've just set up the two lights that come with the kit with their two umbrellas. We've added a background. I'm using an Olympus E500 camera. So now with the L15022 kit, I'm just going to show you where I position the lights for the first shot that we're going to do. I've placed one light on a 7-foot stand and I've added the included umbrella. I've put it behind my camera in line with my model. This we refer to as the fill light. So this is just going to add an overall amount of light to the overall shot. This is going to become my main light, and again I've just used the included umbrella and I've just set it off from the model. I've put it about 3 feet in front of her and I've actually got it so it aims right past her. I do that a lot. Very seldom do I put the main light aimed directly at the model. The reason I aim it off is I get a softer light, more diffuse light. If I aim it right at her, I'll get harder shadows and effects that I don't like. So by aiming it past her, I soften the light down. And I combine that, of course, with the fill light that we described a minute ago. And that's going to come in and add light to the opposite side of her face. And this way I can build what we call shape. So I'm looking for brightness on this cheek and then a little bit of darkness on this cheek. And by varying the intensity of the lights and the position of the lights, I can change that look very easily. Just to explain one other function, is what I'm using to trigger my strobe light from my camera is an accessory called an OPL-WTS. I really prefer these because it's a wireless way of sending the radio signal from my camera to the light. In your kit, in your L15022 kit, you have a sync cord that goes across. I could use that, but I'm very used to using these, and I'm a little afraid of tripping on the cable that runs across. So you might want to look at one of these units. To make it work, I simply place the transmitter in the hot shoe of my camera. I then take the receiver and simply insert it into this jack in the back of the camera. And then every time I fire my camera, that light will fire. On this light here, which is our fill light, I'll show you how it will fire without being connected to the camera. It has the built-in photocell, which is the sensor on here, and all it's looking for is a flash of light in the room. So when I put this up into its position, which is nice and high, so it's over my head, and I make the main light flash, this unit also will flash simply by seeing that one flash. So all it's looking for, again, is a flash of light in the room, and that's being provided by the main light, and both of them go off pretty much at the same time. So with that said, why don't we get Sabrina out and we'll do some photography so you can see what we're doing with the L15022 kit. Okay, so Sabrina's going to be our model today. We brought in a little stool because really what you want to do with your models is make sure they're anchored. Now, Sabrina's been a model for a while, so she's very used to this. I could just stand her here and she would know how to do the posing and feel comfortable. But probably your husband, your kids, your grandmother, if they just stood in front of the camera, they'll get pretty uncomfortable. So always bring something in so they can sit on it or touch it. It's very much called anchoring your model. So in this case, Sabrina sat down. She's doing what she knows how to do very well. Her back is very straight. She's not straight onto the camera. She's angled herself off right away, which is a good pose. And then we're just going to bring her face back. So this is my main light, and I want that to come across and hit mostly on her right cheek. I've got my fill light in behind, and what I want that to do is give me a broad overall light, but mostly to fill in the left side of her cheek. So nice, simple lighting. So why don't we take some shots and we'll see what we get. Yeah. Okay, very nice, Sabrina, just right in the camera, very simple, and click. And we get a great looking sunny shot. It's a very nice light coming in from the left. We've got a bit of fill coming in from this side. Just to give it an alternate is I'm just going to move this in a little bit closer, and you can immediately see in the photograph what happens there. And 1, 2, 3. And you can start to see that I'm lighting up more and more of the left side of her face. So what we're getting to is what we call a flatter shot, a little high key. So now I've moved this in a little bit, and now I want to go to even more of a high key shot, meaning I want a very flat looking face. So I could either move this light back farther, or I can simply use the variable adjustment and turn the strobe unit down. So I'm going to turn that down about a half a stop, and we're going to just see what the difference is there. And just 1, 2, 3, beautiful, into the camera, bang. And right away you can start to see that we get very much a high key shot now, where both sides of her face are much more evenly lit. So let's do the opposite. Let's turn this back up a bit, and we're going to back this light way off, just in the back here. And again, I'm just going to turn its power down so it's not as bright. And what we're going to aim for is a much more contrasty shot, meaning I want the right side of her face to be very lit and the left side of her face to go very dark. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. So you can see that we're starting to get that effect. And I can bring it in a little bit more, or I can add to the darkness, just turn this down a little bit more, put it back up, and here we go again. 1, 2, 3, beautiful. Gorgeous. So now you can see that it's gotten very dark, and I'm just going to bring that up because I don't like it that dark, so we're just going to increase the power again. But now what we're going to do is we're going to get Sabrina just to stand right up, and we're just going to move the camera back a wee bit, and if you can just stand there, we're just going to add this in. The stool makes a nice contrast, or a nice element in the shot, because again, black on white, it looks very nice. So if you just want to be very comfortable, just break one of the knees, that's it. And we're just going to back that up a little bit, and here we go. And right away, you can start to see how we start to change the shots that quick, that easy. We're just going to, again, increase the power here slightly because I want to go back to a little bit more of a high key shot. Bring it up just a little bit. And again, this is the rule of photography. There are no rules. So normally we started with this in behind me, and in this case, I'm actually going to back up farther and leave that umbrella now in front of me. And here we go. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful, bit more of a smile. Gorgeous. Have it. The L150. It's a great light, all metal construction, full studio controls, 250 watts output of power. OPUS OPL-L150.